All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got this Yamaha 5C right here. I got my own mouthpiece protector here. I'm going to try a few reeds. I normally use these Van Doren Red Box Javas number 2.5, but I have a couple of synthetic reeds here. I'm going to try some different ligatures with this thing. So let's see what we got. All right, so straight out of the box, really just comes with these little foam things. I like to keep these foam things here, but that's all you get. And obviously, you do not get a ligature. Aye! Nice and lightweight. I'm going to weigh this later for you. Take a look at these rails. They are thick as you would expect them to be, but they taper to the tip. The tip looks pretty even. Let's take a look at it from this side here. Let's take a look at it from this way. Let me shine some light here. The inner side walls are very flat. There's virtually no kind of baffle here. No forehead, as I like to call it. Let's take a look at this chin or window area here. Let's see what's going on the inside. And you can see that that has a ramp type of shape. Usually there's either a wall, like on some Dukoff mouthpieces, or you have this ramp type of shape. This table is really flat. It's a very well-made mouthpiece, inexpensive, 30 bucks. I got mine on Musician's Friend, $29.99. I'm gonna weigh this without the mouthpiece protector on here because that definitely makes a difference. 38.76. 38.77. 38.77 grams. All right. Let's put this thing on a saxophone and see what we got. Okay, I'm using the regular ligature, 10 bucks. And I'm using a cane, 2.5 Van Doren Red Box reed. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, this is super easy to play. No doubt, because this tip opening is really small, and it actually feels like it's smaller than the 4C, but I'm not using the same reed, so there's some give and take that's there. I'm going to make a switch, not just to the other synthetic reeds that I talked about, but I'm also going to use Van Doren V21 and maybe even a Van Doren V12 reed. Kind of stiffen it up a bit and see what we got. Okay. Getting a real classical kind of thing. Is a really nice classical reed to use with a mouthpiece like this. Just the tone, articulation, the feel, the tip opening is low enough to feel comfortable playing on something with this kind of resistance. Okay, now I have regular ligature with the V21. Definitely like a dark jazz kind of sound that I get by using these V21 reeds. I think that this is the reed that I would use if I'm going to use a mouthpiece like this. Just need to do some refinement with the reed choice, but other than that, it's there. Really, I'm only limited by the small tip opening, but no excuses and no blaming the mouthpiece for something like this. Okay, let's continue. Okay, V21 reed with compass ligature. I'm getting a little more resistance with this one. Okay, so now I have the Silverstein carbon black ligature with the V21 reed. This would definitely be more of my jazz setup if I was going to use this. This feels like the resistance is where it's supposed to be for that kind of music. Okay, let's try some of the synthetic reeds. Okay, I switched back to the regular ligature to try and simulate what most people would use for something like this. This is the Ligature Signature 2.5 reed. Bit buzzy for my taste, but there you go. All right, and let's try the fiber cell. Okay, that is much too bright for my taste, but that's pretty much the spectrum of what you have with various reeds, just of the ones that I've chosen anyway, and some various ligatures. All right, so let me go back to what I think is the most adequate setup for a mouthpiece in this price range. One, two, three. Two, one, two, three. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so for 30 bucks, I think this mouthpiece is actually really good. I think that the best option for a mouthpiece like this is just to really go with the standard ligature. The Silverstein is pretty much overkill, and I feel like the compass is just kind of unnecessary. It makes a lot of noise when you're adjusting this thing, and that can be very distracting if you're actually on the gig or something like that. So for not a whole lot of money, you can have yourself a really decent mouthpiece. Now, I'm biased toward these mouthpieces because I think they thread the classical and jazz thing really well at the price point. I'm not really that into plastic unless it's at like a super low price, like pretty much below $100. Anything more than that to me is just not really worth it for plastic. But I do like what you can get out of having a well-made, low price mouthpiece. As far as reeds go, I felt like the V12 was definitely much more of a classical oriented mouthpiece. Tried to demonstrate this thing with kind of a classical jazz oriented kind of piece with the V21. I think it threads that dark thing really well. Also, I'd probably use stiffer cut red box reeds if I were going to use this mouthpiece because of its low tip opening. So ultimately, if I was going to use a fiber cell, I would definitely need a much stiffer reed, probably a 3.5 at least, or maybe even a 4 if I was going to use such a low tip opening mouthpiece. So hope I was able to give you guys some insight on these Yamaha C-Class mouthpieces. All right, that's all I got for you. See ya.